Hello, good day everyone. Today in this video I'm going to define what is OSI model, and I'm going to discuss what is the 7 layer of OSI model and its function. First, I'm going to define what is OSI model. The International Organization for Standardization developed the Open System Interconnection, or OSI model, a conceptual framework that enables various communication systems to exchange data via agreed upon protocols. The OSI, or Open System Interconnection, offers a standard for various computer systems to be able to communicate with one another. One could think of the OSI model as a common language for computer networking. So, the OSI model consists of 7 layers, which are typically described from top to bottom. Layer 7, the application layer. The only layer that works directly with user data is this one. The application layer is required for communication initiation by software programs like web browser and email clients. However, it should be made clear that client software applications do not belong in the application layer. Rather, the application layer is in charge of the protocols and data manipulation that the software depends on to provide the user with useful data. Layer 6, the presentation layer. This layer is largely responsible for preparing data so that it may be used by the application layer. In other words, Layer 6 makes the data presentable for applications to consume. Data translation, encryption, and compression are the responsibility of the presentation layer. The layer 5, which is session layer. This layer sets up and ends communication between the two devices. The session is the interval between the beginning and end of the communication. In order to prevent resource waste, the session layer makes sure that the session is open for as long as necessary to send all of the data being exchanged before quickly closing it. The layer 4, which is transport layer. The two devices end-to-end communication is handled by layer 4. Before transmitting data to layer 3, this entails taking information from the session layer and dividing it into units known as segments. Reassembling the segments into data that the session layer can use is the responsibility of the transport layer on the receiving device. The layer 3, which is network layer. Data transfer between two distinct networks is made possible by the network layer. The network layer is not required if the two communicating devices are on the same network. On the sending device, the network layer divides segments from the transport layer into smaller units, known as packets, and reassembles these packets on the receiving device. Routing is the process by which the network layer determines the optimum physical route for the data to take to get to its destination. The data link layer. The network layer and the data link layer are extremely similar. However, the data link layer allows for data transfer between two devices connected to the same network. Packets from the network layer are split into smaller units called frames by the data link layer. The layer 1, which is the physical layer. The physical devices used for data transfer, like as cables and switches, are included in this layer. This layer is also where the data is transformed into a bit stream or a series of ones and zeros. To differentiate the ones from the zeros on both devices, the physical layers of both devices must also agree on a signal protocol. So, in order to properly comprehend how this model functions, I will provide a actual example. If you sent an email, for example, as it moves across the OSI model, the data is added to and processed at each layer. This method is known as encapsulating. Step 1, our loads application layer produces the data, the email you typed and the email address you provided, and prepares it for transmission using the STMP or Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. Step 2, presentation layer, the data is formatted in a way that receiving device is comprehend. If necessary, this layer might additionally encrypt the data. Step 3, session layer with receiving mail server is launched. Step 4, transport layer. At this point, TCP or UDP is chosen. TCP will be used in this scenario to guarantee that every packet is delivered. Additionally, the data includes the source and destination ports. Step 5, network layer. The IP address of the mail service is added, as the destination and the source IP address is also added through the data. Step 6, data link layer. The MAC address of the router and the source MAC address of the host is added to the data. Step 7, physical data is sent out on the network using Ethernet, so when the data reaches the other side, the receiving device will process the data in the same way, but in reverse, starting from a bottom up. So that's all. That is the 7 layer of the OSI model. I hope you guys understand what is the function of each layer. Thank you for watching, and I hope you gain knowledge from my presentation. Thank you.